Nev Chambers has dealt with suicide and death many times in his 22 years as a police officer. But one day, Nev found himself planning his own.
I'd not realised at the time, but I was going down a very dark hole. I felt my life was sort of just spiralling out of control. And one particular day I'd gone out for a walk, sat on a bench very similar to this, and an old lady sat down next to me, just started talking to me. Next thing, her dog jumped on my knee and started licking my face, and I don't know what it was about that black Labrador, but I just burst into tears. Pretty much every emotion for probably the past 20 years of policing just came flooding out.
The latest data shows on average 19 police officers die by suicide every year. Nev knows colleagues and friends who've taken their own lives and believes the stranger and her dog saved his life.
It was while I was sat on that bench I'd realised I'd actually planned what I was going to do and when. Having dealt with suicides many times at work, I knew I didn't want my family anywhere near me. I didn't want any of my colleagues to be finding me. So I'd actually planned to go to another force area so that no one would actually know who I was. That's kind of when I realised how bad things had got.
Nev went straight to his GP and then his recovery began. He's now back at work and has been part of an emotional film made by North Yorkshire Police Federation urging police officers to talk to each other.
We're not always all right, and it's fine to not be all right. Things do get better.
It's really brave of you to talk about this as a police officer. How are you feeling now? Are things better?
I'm not going to admit it's all rosy. There are days where things do look a little bit glum, but thanks to the information I've been given and the sort of therapies that I've had, I understand when that's happening now, and I can sort of change my thought process a little bit, and generally things are good.
Have you ever managed to find that lady and her black Labrador again, and what would you like to say to her if she happens to be watching this?
I've been back to the bench a few times since, but never seen her or the dog since, which is a shame really.
Is there anything you'd like to say if she happens to see this?
Just thank you. Thank you for talking. Thank you for taking the time, and sorry for crying on you.
Oh, they were meant to meet, weren't they? And if you're in need of help or advice, you can search BBC Action Line online.